Live.
We're live. It's alive.
We are live. Happy Friday, friend. Do a little Friday dance. Hey everybody. Hope everybody's having a lovely Friday so far, and had a great week. We have some nerdy news for you all, so get excited to nerd out with us on some marketing stuff that's happening in the marketing world. So we have a little bit of news to share with you about, first of all, LinkedIn. If you haven't seen it yet, LinkedIn has rolled out a few new features for those of you with company pages. So we're just going to highlight those real quick. We're not going to go into great detail, but give you just a little bit of insight. There might be something in there that's useful to some of you. Right, Kara?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up my notes on my phone over here. It's taking a minute. So the first thing with LinkedIn company pages. So the first thing is they have now given you the capability for your company pages to export the data from your followers. So you can see your new followers, their location, their job function, their seniority, what industry they're in, and their company size. You cannot, the caveat with this is that you cannot export their names. So despite the fact that you can go to your company page, look at the list of your followers, see who those people are, click into their profile, you can't export that. I mean, for good reason, right? But I think that's going to be a little bit confusing or frustrating for some people who aren't aware when they go in to export those analytics and data. The second part, LinkedIn events.
Yeah. So LinkedIn events was relaunched in early 2020 for both personal profiles and company pages to make events easier to find and encourage more interaction with employees and their followers. Events are now available on the left-hand menu of company pages. Creating your first page event will trigger the events tab to show up just like it would if you were doing IGTV, anything like that. And in addition to the events tab, people can also now see upcoming events for your page in their page feed.
Yes, I think that's pretty cool that your events actually populate into the feed automatically. So it doesn't rely on you sharing that information over and over. So it's just kind of like Facebook where it just like pops up like, you may be interested in this event, or you are going to like something like that. So if you're following a company and they have events coming up, it'll pop it right into their timeline, which I think is pretty cool. Pretty handy stuff. The third little update to company pages is that they've released, so this is something, the My Company tab is something that's been available already to companies with over 200 or more employees, which we are not. Most of our clients are not, but if you have more than 200 employees, you've been able to use this My Company page tab to have your employees communicate really easily together and get to know each other. They're now releasing that to everyone else. It's slowly rolling out. It won't be finished until December of this year. But it's kind of cool because it's like a kind of a trusted little private space for your employees to be able to see who's newly hired at the company, who's posting trending content. So there's actually a little section. So it's like coworkers with trending content, and you can see everyone who's active on LinkedIn and what kind of trending content they're sharing. So for me, I thought that was kind of a cool little upgrade. And then it's also a place where, as a company, you can share updates to your employees, like company news and that kinds of thing. And then that's great because they can take that information and then share it with their audiences, and then get it in front of more eyes. I mean, they would have to like copy and paste it or download an image or whatever PDF or whatever you would share in there, because it is a private area just for your employees. And you do have control over who says that they work at your company. So, you know, they mark that in their personal profile. But if someone says that and they don't really work for you, you can reach out to LinkedIn and have them removed, which I know I've had that problem with Facebook. Like a million years ago, someone claimed that they, in their personal profile on Facebook, that they owned my old company name, and they were not even on the same continent as me. So I like that there is a way to resolve some of those issues that could occur. So that's the LinkedIn updates in a nutshell. The 3 simple little things, nothing too crazy, but I think could be really useful. There are a lot more details that we could go into once again, but that's more of a workshop than Fri YAY. So we'll stop there. So Kara, I know you're dying to talk about TikTok and Instagram Reels.
I am.
And I know that my camera is frozen again. So sorry about that. This is the problem. I didn't go into the office today. My Wi-Fi here at home is.
If you're local, you know why we didn't go into the office today, but.
Yep, because my car doesn't swim, and I live in Virginia Beach and have to drive into Norfolk, into the Ghent area, and that's.
Yeah, and my 2020 car luck was not great, and I don't want it to continue, so I'm not taking those risks.
Yeah, we're just, you know, minimizing our our risky behaviors today. So
yes, exactly.
That comes with internet issues and freezing faces and screens, unfortunately.
But we're gonna get into TikTok, which we've gotten lots of questions about. There is some news and some updates. Casey, do you want to go ahead and share the news, and then we can dive into our little debate we're gonna have?
Yeah, so I don't know if you all are following along with all the things happening with TikTok and the potential purchase of it by a US-based company. We followed it along and talked about it probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago or so. But there's some updates now. So the deadline originally was like September 15th, and then I think it got extended to like the 24th, 25th. But here's the deal. So Microsoft was originally in talks to purchase the US version of TikTok. Then a couple of other companies, big, huge companies, came into play. And let me just talk about this because it's wild, but the purchase point is rumored to be around $50 billion. So who can afford to buy that? Giant conglomerations like Microsoft or huh?
She didn't, but Kylie Jenner,
Right? But then 2 more players came into the scene, and so actually Walmart was in consideration.
Oh, bizarre,
right?
Just like how does that correlate together? I mean, it's a smart investment,
Sure.
I feel like, but a very large investment. But I'm like, how does Walmart like break out and go into the app marketing sphere, content, everything?
Just seems a little outside the scope for the but okay, cool. And then third, rumor had it about 4 or 5 days ago. The rumor was that Oracle actually purchased it. So Oracle, the big software giant, and so they actually there's just so much ambiguity about it. But from as far as we can tell, they actually didn't purchase it. There's just all these conflicting reports. Oracle is like, yeah, we're buying it. There was a statement from the US Treasury, from Steve Mnuchin. He was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Oracle confirmed it. And then
you have the actual US TikTok that is like no, and then you have
Yeah, and then the state TV in China was like, nope. And then ByteDance, the actual company that owns all of TikTok, they were like, we're not giving our source code. That's not happening. So it's like in the weird little corner of digital marketing. It's like salacious gossip in such a strange way. But we're all just kind of like still hanging out on TikTok doing our thing in the meantime, right?
watching the geek version of the Housewives. So this is like the Housewives of data and source coding. It's
It's a weird little corner of the universe that we live in. But so that's the update, is like it's still kind of in the mix.
still
Like,
up in the air.
no confirmation of any purchase, or that a purchase will even ever go through, because the company that owns it all is just like, nah, we're not giving you our
There's
code.
that, on top of which the TikTok president for the USA was like, we're not going anywhere. They've put in lawsuits because they believe that legally the government can't do anything about it. So this will be an interesting ride to continue out.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted the more we learn. But with all of that kind of ambiguity about TikTok, you know, we've been talking about using TikTok in marketing for a while now, and with all of that ambiguity around it, Instagram, we talked about a couple Fridays ago. We talked about Instagram had kind of copied TikTok's thing, and has this thing now called Instagram Reels. Shameless self promotion. I have a workshop this next week about that. It's an hour long. It's $10. Even if you don't get to attend, I will send you the replay of the video afterwards. So just sign up if you're interested in learning about it. But Instagram Reels. So now a lot of people are like, okay, what do I do? Like, is TikTok going to go away? Should I move over to IG Reels?
Do I invest the time or the money into TikTok? Or do I just do IG Reels? Do I halt and not do anything at all and just wait and see? So we'll kind of debate that.
That is never the answer. Never wait and see. Just keep doing things.
Just dive on in.
Yeah, just dig in, do something. Something is better than nothing, even if it's not perfect, even if you haven't fully mastered it. You know, just dig in and do the things. So, with the thing with, we have some pros and cons of Instagram Reels versus TikTok. So for me, I think personally that from a business owner perspective, one of the big deciding factors is going to be, all right, so do you already have a presence on Instagram? If so, maybe instead of shifting over to TikTok, you just stay on Instagram. And you do your IG Reels, and it's a way for you to redirect people back to the rest of your Instagram content, and get it in front of some new eyes through that explore page if you do it consistently. But the cons of Instagram Reels, there's a few.
There's a few. I think for starters, there's some things that they need to fix and edit. For starters, I know for Casey, it really bothers her that it's only 15 seconds.
It's the same as a story. I don't understand what the I'm gonna get
Like
real.
multiple little stories in a story. The second thing is that really bothers me is that when you go to you've made your reel and you go to not submit but like post it, you only have two options. You can either post it into stories or post it on your page. You can't do both simultaneously. So then if you want to put it on your stories, which you should, you have to make it into the post and post it, and then share it to your stories later on. Sounds like I don't know. It's a lot more like hoops to go through,
Sure.
as well as like the draft page, like if you save as a draft, I work in marketing and I had to Google where to go to even find my drafts to get my reels.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit confusing.
It's
Uh,
also, it's harder for people to find your reels, I feel like. So if you're wanting to get it in front of a new audience, TikTok has the For You page, and it's based on the algorithm. And I think that algorithm is pretty on point. I know it is for me.
it is for me.
I engage with.
I love that I don't have to search for anything unless I truly want to. Like if I only want to watch food videos, then I can search a hashtag or like, a title. But it definitely formulates so well for the individual user. I mean, even the ads I get here and there are ads that like I'd be like, oh my God, I really want to buy that. Don't touch it, Kara. Don't can't be spending out money on these kind of things. But the
Yeah.
formula is
Yeah, to be able to find new people to follow from a user perspective, it's harder on Instagram Reels, unless you just go into the explore page. But I don't know a lot of people. I mean, sometimes on Instagram I'll tap over into that explore page, but not,
I
not
feel if
as much as I'm on the For You on TikTok.
I definitely primarily am on stories on Instagram
Mhm.
versus looking at the feed or explore page. If I just everything's kind of stale on stories or I have extra time, then sometimes I'll go on the explore page. But now that there's TikTok, I rarely am on the explore page for IG. But another pro for Reels, though, is that I've heard it's a lot less stress and it's a lot easier to make a successful reel than it is a TikTok. TikTok can be kind of scary to some people. So I know that that's been a pro. A lot of people were like, well, I feel just like it's a lot easier, it's a lot less time consuming to do a reel than it would be to do a TikTok.
Yeah, it can be less intimidating, I would say, the process of creating.
Yeah. And then
I mean, TikTok, like, also it seems that TikTok's pretty finicky with like hashtags and shadow banning and um, kind of getting your content to stick where you want it to. There's also a ton of trolls, tons of
I find though that the comments section is kind of hard to read. I also find it difficult that like it doesn't pin the creators on TikTok. It doesn't pin like their comment at the top. So like those ones, I get a lot of the ones that are like really cool Amazon buys or like different websites, and I can't find like the creators like, oh, I'll put it in the comments.
yeah.
Where is it? I can't find it. Like there's like 300 million comments and it
Mhm.
doesn't pin the creators to the top. Like, how am I supposed to find that then? And then I get annoyed, and then the poor creator doesn't get the favorite because I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time on this then.
Right.
So I think that needs to be edited for TikTok. But I think for the reels, the big thing that they really need to fix is they need to give businesses music back. That's the biggest one.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you're having to, as a business, the whole point of doing it in Instagram and the whole like point of like what Reels is promoting is that you can easily do it within your story section and you can edit really quickly. Okay, but if you're a business, I have to pull all like my business stuff into an app, figure it out, export it, and then put it into Reels because the sound.
Yeah.
Otherwise, my stuff just doesn't have music for a business account. That's the only negative on that.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely pros and cons to both. And it's one of those things that's definitely going to just come down to an individual situation, and what matters most to you, um, as a business person or as a business professional. So,
I see Instagram making edits quickly and adding on a lot faster than TikTok would make any edits to their things.
I'm curious to see if they do change the timing. I know that stories are 15 seconds, so their platform is probably built for, so they were probably able to roll this out as quickly as they did just because of that from a coding perspective. But I wonder if they'll lengthen.
I think they will, or maybe they'll try to, they might make it a rule at first where it's like, if you're doing it for stories, then do 15 seconds. If you're going to make it a post, then you can do a minute. Maybe starting with that, because I know the coding's an issue, but I see them updating and editing and adding on and doing great things a lot faster than I would see TikTok, especially with it not being the parent company, especially with all of everything that's going on in the government. So again, like Casey said, there's so many pros and cons to both, but from a business standpoint, maybe if you're already on Instagram, focusing on Reels.
Yeah. So I see that we have a few new viewers. So for those of you who are just jumping on, you're catching the tail end of our TikTok versus Instagram Reels, pros and cons, and you know, just a little friendly debate. Yeah. So I don't know. Are any of you, anyone watching right now, are any of you on? Have you done any TikToks or any Instagram Reels for your business or
Which
personal?
one do you like working with better?
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what our audience is into or has explored so far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just because we like something doesn't mean that everyone else is going to. But those are some of our thoughts on all of that. And let's see. Oh, Kristen's watching. Hey, Kristen. Kristen says hi, Kara and Casey. So Kristen, have you gone down the TikTok or Instagram reel rabbit holes yet for Smile or just personally?
And if you have, do it as a two-part. So do it as a viewer, which one do you prefer? And then as a
Creator.
so which one do you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where like it kind of hangs up because I feel like there are definite pros
Yeah, like I feel like
for a business.
for me right now, I feel like as a creator, I like IG Reels,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like as a viewer, I like TikTok better. But I also do really enjoy watching everyone's Reels. I watch them like on their stories, and I'll usually click and go to their page. So I do really enjoy them, but I find that I'm on like TikTok a lot longer because you scroll
Yep.
and you get like hooked.
Yep. I know
But
that. I sit my phone up in the bathroom up on the counter while I'm doing my hair and makeup. And all I have to do is just scroll up. Guess what? It's
mine's like before I go to bed. Sometimes I'll like get hooked on them. But
unwind and sleep.
I do find it being so much easier and so much more fun to do reels. I find it just so easy to do reels because all I do is I take a couple seconds video of whatever it is that I'm doing, and then all I have to do is tap and put them together really fast and easy. So I will say I find reels a lot easier to make as a creator.
So Kristen answered, she said, I've personally stayed away from TikTok, but that's due to a variety of security issues, which I'm going to hit on in a second. What I think I like the view, what I think I like as a viewer is on Instagram, it's in a grid, so I don't need another app. But again, I've stayed away from TikTok in general. She's talking to text. She said terrible there, lady. Sorry. I tried to make sense of that, but sorry if I jumbled that up even worse than your talk to text app, Kristen. Integrated. Oh, so it's integrated. So okay, so let me just talk about this because this security issues, which they are totally valid. You know, like Kara has said on our other Fridays about TikTok, is there have been like people who were government employees who were given death threats, who were kidnapped. There are some pretty horrific, like legitimate concerns, right? Really horrible things happening. Um, I'm like, why TikTok? Like there's so many apps and programs and softwares that we use that are from like what would be seen as foreign adversaries. And I think one example that we don't think about or that no one has really thrown a fuss about at all that I find to be extremely concerning is Cam Scanner is a really, really popular app. People
I
use
didn't know, had no idea. I've used it, had no idea until today that it was
down into a scanner and it turns your pictures into PDFs and documents. Um, it's a Chinese owned company. And with that, you're scanning documents. So you're buying a house remotely that you haven't moved to that town yet, and you're scanning your bank account information or your escrow check information, whatever it might like, there's just so many things that, and maybe that's not a perfect example, but
I
there's
think
so
it's a great example though. The whole point of like TikTok that they're worried about is your data of knowing where you are, knowing secret documents, being able to pull things from your phone. You're scanning in actual documents. I feel like that almost is precedent over TikTok at this point though. But I
yeah.
think
So
maybe it's not talked about as much because TikTok is so talked about, it's so discussed, it's trending beyond belief. Advertising wise, it's incredible. And it's a mashup between multiple, I mean, it was kind of like a Snapchat and an IG and a YouTube put together into an app. It was like Vine, remember when Vine was a thing? So maybe that's why it's talked about more, but I really wish I didn't have used that app and scanned my stuff in too.
I mean, I kind of think there are just concerns all around, but that just resonates in my head and just kind of sits there. That thought of like, yeah, the security I get, but there are so many others that I feel like have just as nefarious consequences or characters using them maybe. But yeah, so that's that. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, Kristen. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to text that to
I
us.
think the only other question I have, I guess, for our small business viewers is, do you care if anything happens to TikTok? That's my number one question. Do you care? Will it affect you? Um, and do you want it to stay, or does it just not even really resonate with you?
So I think if you're going to go on TikTok, you have to go into it with this information at hand of this is the situation. It might possibly be bought out and change. It might possibly not be bought out and then disappear. We don't know. And so I think you just have to take that into consideration. Are you willing? Um, are you willing to pour some time and energy into marketing your company on this platform? I think it's fine. You just have to know that ahead of time so that you're not salty about it later, right? Because I think there are so many, so many good things about it, and it's bringing. I follow so many cool companies that I've found on TikTok, and I think that it's a great way to just widen your audience. But it is time, money is, or time is money. So you have to consider, could you just go to reliable Instagram, hang out on Reels, and do a similar thing there, and benefit from the audience that is also just going to stay on Instagram already. I don't know. You gotta weigh the questions and do your own pros and cons list.
Yeah, but definitely let us know in the comments. I put little comments in our comment section, and you can comment below to each one. I put, which do you like better as a viewer? Which do you like better as a creator? And then, do you care if anything happens to TikTok? Let us know.
Kristen said, "Guess not if we're not on it." LOL.
I like it. Nice answer. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things for me. I would be sad to see it go because I do enjoy the content. Um, is it going to be the end of my world? No, there always will be new things that come out. There'll always be the latest and greatest. And, Instagram and Facebook are good old trustees. They're going to be around for forever and they're always going to update and add new things like this. So,
Yeah. And for me, if it does disappear tomorrow, it's fine because a lot of the creators that I follow on TikTok are also really active on Instagram already. So
exactly.
it's fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, especially when the first scare came out that it was going to go away, a lot of them were pushing and saying, we'll be on Instagram, we'll be more active there, or they started a YouTube channel so that they could be active on there. They've got options to go places. But we all like the platform of TikTok being 15 seconds to a minute. The For You page algorithm is fantastic. So we will see what happens. We will definitely keep you guys updated on everything on our nerdy news.
Yeah. And I think that's good. So we'll wrap it up here. Once again, just a couple of quick little notices. So we do have a Zoom workshop over Zoom next week on Instagram Reels. It's a step-by-step like walk through, learn how to create a reel in an hour. It's $10 unless you're a BizConnect Hampton Roads member, and then it's $6. You can register on bizconnecthr.com/events. And I felt like I had something else, but I guess that's it for now. So sign up for my workshop, learn how to do reels with me. It'll be a great time. And then we'll see you next Friday. So have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe. If you're dealing with the flooding that we are, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.